Hey, welcome to Bikes, Boats, and Bivouacs. We're headed west to Laurel Hill State Park in Somerset, Pennsylvania. Well, we arrived at Laurel Hill State Park. This is the campground contact station, and during the middle of the week you just go directly to your site, but you can see they have ice and firewood here, and a lot of the sites don't have hookups or only have electric hookup, so you'll need a dump station and water, and the potable water is right here at the dump station, so I'm filling mine up now. And then here is the dump station. There's one there, and there's a rinse station and a dump station there. So there's two dump stations, one main water fill. So I did book site 25, and you see the post 25. So I backed in here, but look at that arrow. That's site 25. Fortunately, Tim and Dawn were in site 24, so I didn't have to break camp and move one site. This is the pet-friendly loop. You can see they have bags here. The issue with this site is you need a really long electric cord. This is the first time I've come across this where my cord was not long enough. So what I did is I dropped down to an extension cord to go the rest of the way. I tested my air conditioner and it works. This is an electric only site. So we filled up the water tank with 38 gallons of water. So we have electric only, and then we'll use the dump station when we get there. The site was perfectly level, side to side, but I had to drop that front down pretty low. How you doing? Good. And then you can see on this site, this is actually site 24, so you have all this space. So it's a pretty decent sized lot from a width perspective, but it's not very deep lengthwise. You would have trouble getting 28 footer on this site. It'd be really tight. Got the awning out, the table up. Got my mat, I remembered it this time. We did bring the kayaks. We have a fire pit, and I got to put the tablecloth on the picnic table. There is the picnic table. I got the cover on it, so we are ready to start the next few days.
Hey, listen, it's nice meeting you. I'm Keith, by the way.
Hi, Keith. You want to be on the camera?
No, I don't care.
Because if you don't mind, you can
let's see.
What's your last name?
Keith Wellings.
Keith Wellings. Where are you from, Keith?
I am from Charlestown, West Virginia right now.
So how long did it take you to get up here?
We drove to the in-laws' house about 2.5 hours, then another 45 minutes.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah, it's not bad at all.
Yeah. Well, you have a nice unit over there, that J flight, but you know, if the kids are leaving, it's time for that toy hauler and put that Victory in the back.
Find another 8 friends to come.
Right, right. That might be even more fun. We see Tim is set up in site 25, since I'm in site 24, but his rig fit there. I'd like to do our review of Laurel Hill State Park. It is in the Laurel Highlands in Somerset, Pennsylvania, and there's about 270 campsites here. Some, yeah, they're various sites. You have full hookup sites, you have electric only sites, and there's one loop, the loop we're in, I think it's sites 0 through 97, that is the pet friendly loop. So what do you think of this campground?
It's very nice and quiet. There is a busy road right behind us here, but it's not too bad with the traffic, and it was a beautiful weekend.
So really nice time up here. What was your favorite thing?
Well, we did go kayaking today, on the lake.
Yeah, it's Laurel Hill Lake.
Okay, lake. I'm sorry.
It's not a really large lake, but we spent a couple hours out there and had a good time, and I'll put a clip of it in right here so you can see it. You only check them every 5.
No?
Good answer.
Yeah, I think it's hot.
We do?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm hot. I'm not hot, I'm warm.
I just want to make sure you're not hot. My cameras. The cameras on my house.
Yeah.
They're freaking going off all the time with the cicadas.
Yeah. Man, when they hit the window, it makes a noise. Holy crap.
The cicadas over by the camera over by your office. That's always going.
It was a nice day. It was a little bit cold, chilly for this time of year, around 60, but the sun was nice and warm, and it was pleasant out in the water.
And at night it got down to the 40s, so we were running the heater, not the air conditioner. A couple things about this park. When you come in, you got to fill your tank right when you turn into the campground. 2 dump stations, and this is where you get your drinking water. Because there's not a lot of water spots throughout the campground to fill your tank. So you want to fill it, it's right at the dump station. You want to fill your tank right away. And the other thing I would say is some of the electric sites, the electric is further than a standard cord. You want to make sure you have at least 2 cords with you in case you have to extend it. So those are the 2 things I would suggest. They have a lot of opportunities here for hiking. There's hiking trails all over.
Boy Scout camps.
There's a big Boy Scout camp nearby that's active, so that was good to see. They have a memorial to the Conservation Corps. This is a dedication to the Civilian Conservation Corps 33 to 42. And this was dedicated in 2007, but a lot of the public works were done by this corps. These were all the Conservation Corps camps in Pennsylvania. And they have a walking garden on controlled burns and meadows, and why that is the way it is and what the benefit of that is. So this talks about controlled burns in a meadow and why they're done. And then they have stations out there to talk about each of the different categories, and it's cut and maintained so you can walk through there. So it's all, that'd be a nicer, lighter walk for little kids if you have the little kids with you. And you don't want to do one of the harder trails. So there's an awful lot to do inside Laurel Hill State Park, but there's plenty to do around this area in the Laurel Highlands. So one trip out here is not going to do it. So you can learn quite a bit here. There's an amphitheater here. I put a video in of the amphitheater right here. Now, as with most state parks, they do have an amphitheater, and they are ramping up their programs again now that COVID is starting to get under control. So you can see they have a movie screen and a stage area in the front, bench seats that are elevated, which is helpful, a demonstration table with electricity, and then a building over here to store stuff in. But during the week, there's not a lot of programming. On the weekend is when they have most of their programming. So we'll come back and see that. They also have a really nice beach area and day use area. That includes the beach, kayak and canoe rentals. There's a concession stand there, and a lot of parking. So this park, I think the day use area really gets used hard, especially on the weekends. It would be pretty busy. It was busy during the week also.
It's quiet now. This is the middle of the week.
Yeah. Now, a couple things. We are at the lake, and there's some rescue equipment there. a thing for fishing line so it doesn't get tangled in wildlife. But what I want to show you is the kayak launch right here. So the way these work is you put your kayak on here, you sit on it, and then you roll right into the water. So that'll work well. There is a beach here. No pets allowed on the beach. So they have a really nice setup right here. And it looks like they do have a concession stand over on the other side. Up on the hill from the beach is the bathhouse, so they do have bathrooms right at the beach so you can change if you want to. Couple of swings. Another item to play on the playground. How cold is it, Tim? Chilly?
It's warmer than 75.
So if you notice, there's a railing to get down to deeper water. So this allows people who are not as stable on their feet to access the water and have a railing to hold on to. It's 5 feet out at the corner. Really nice beach. Wheelchair access. This is really nice, Tim. Yeah. Spillways over there. All right, so we're gonna check out the other side. I think there's a concession stand over there, and they do rent kayaks and paddles here. And we did discover yet another old cemetery.
Yes, and it was so cool. We paid some respect to those farmers, poor farmers in this area back in the 1800s. I believe it was one of the gravestones date was 1813.
Yeah, so we'll put a clip in here so you can see it. You know, whenever we're out looking around, we're fascinated by cemeteries. And at Laurel Hill State Park, they have an old cemetery, so we're going to check it out. So they do have it maintained. This is the Joan Scott Singo Cemetery. It was restored in 2000. And we see it was an 18th century cemetery.
Oh, cool.
Son of Robert. 1813. And you can see these are the gravestones. And notice how the forest starts to recover it. You know, the leaves and all create dirt and ground, and that's actually the top of the headstone. And the dirt, you know, just keeps reclaiming what man tries to do. So you can see the headstone. Yeah, that was redone. Someone redid that one. So these are the old headstones in a row. Now some of them have placed new stones. So this one obviously is a replacement stone for George Scott, who died in 1867. We tend to explore the old kind of lost cemeteries or forgotten cemeteries, and we're finding that a lot of them are at state parks and state forests.
Mm-hmm.
So really a kind of a cool thing that they did by restoring this.
Aren't you glad you stopped because the name is Scott?
There we go.
Right?
Well, we already own 6 burial plots. We have enough. We don't need another one. And the unique thing about that cemetery was the poor farmers couldn't really afford headstones, so they would take a big rock that they would find and kind of shape it and use that as the headstone. And they did a restoration project on it.
Right.
Nature tries to take back what man does. So those gravestones, you know, you can only see the top of them because the dirt has accumulated on top of them. And we've seen that at the cemetery at Hickory Run Campground,
Right.
and also in the Tioga State Forest. So we have a thing for old cemeteries.
Right. So,
You can do lots of biking around here. And there's a lot to do in the area. The Laurel Highlands has a lot to do. There's a Seven Springs resort, which has a ski slope for the winter time, but also alpine slide for the summer. There's a bunch of different restaurant and event centers around, and also Frank Lloyd Wright's Falling Waters is maybe half an hour from here, so you can go check that out. And the Flight 93 Memorial. What do you think of the Flight 93 Memorial?
Oh, it's one of those things that I have on my bucket list to do, and we were able to do it. This campground is really close to that memorial, so I really enjoyed the morning, spending some time there and honoring those that were involved with that awful day.
There is a flight path that the plane Flight 93 took, and it's this way. They also have a visitor center out there and some restrooms right here. It was a really nice trip. We had a good time out here. The sites are wide, they're not that deep, so if you have a unit that is, at least in the pet area, if you have a unit that's greater than maybe 30 to 35 feet, you're going to have trouble putting them on one of these sites. But if you're 30 feet or under, this park is going to work great for you. So we're taking a tour through the dog-friendly sites, which are up to site 97, 0 to 97. It's the camp host. So we do have a playground. Like most of the state parks in Pennsylvania, if you want to do the camping experience and don't have a camper or a tent, you can rent their cottages. They book up right away, so if you're thinking of doing that, you gotta book your site the minute it's eligible. So we'll see what they look like. They have a number of different playgrounds. They do have volleyball and some picnic areas, and we're coming up on the camping cottages. Have several bathhouses in the campground, and it does say they have flush toilets, so we'll take a look at that. A couple of sinks, urinal, stall, larger handicap stall, and it looks like they have 3 showers. And they do have hot and cold water for the showers, so that's nice. So the bathrooms are adequate. I like that they have flush toilets and running water. So would you come back here?
Yes, I would.
Yeah, this is a 2 thumbs up park. There's a lot to do, a lot in the area to do also. So we really enjoyed our time here. If you enjoyed this video, what should they do, Marie?
Subscribe.
And if you want to be notified every time we put a new video up, what could they do?
Ring the bell.
And if they want to help other people see our videos, what should they do?
Give us a thumbs up.
But more important than all that, go have some fun out there. Thanks for watching. Every camping trip ends with a Tim Hoffman fire.